I think in the last class we started with an introduction to cybersecurity, and we're mentioning that cybersecurity has these three major components, all right, and without those three major components, there's no cybersecurity because that is what cybersecurity is built around. Okay, so and the first one is confidentiality, the second one is integrity, and the third one is availability. So now, for the three, I know that sometimes some people call it accountability. Like some people, instead of mentioning availability, they mention accountability. Accountability is useful, or we use it in cybersecurity too, but it's not part of the three major pillars of cybersecurity. Okay, so it is accountability is used, in the process of, say, maybe when you are trying to. I would say is in between confidentiality and integrity. And the reason why I said that is because uh, accountability is all about you are trying to take account of what is happening on your network or within your system. So if someone logs in, if someone logs out, the person's details, the person's name, everything. So when you are logging stuff or when you are taking an audit trail of what is happening within your system or your network, that is accountability. Do you get? So you are trying to take people accountable for who they are or for what they've done. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So yeah, so that's accountability. So and in some cases we use logs, we use audit trail for that. So logs are just like some files, within your system that contains every activity happening within that system. All right. So when we are talking about, say, I mean, some of our phones have logs. Some of the websites you browse, like their server, have logs. So that log will contain all the detailed information. You logged in so at so time, so thing happened at so time, so thing happened at so time. I would have loved to share one with us, though it's confidential because it's for, should I say, a brand I work for. Yeah, I mean, a client of ours, let me put it that way. But maybe in the next class, I would have tried to, because if I want to show you now, I have to start logging in and, trying to show you guys what a log looks like. But maybe in the next class, I will show you. So that is what accountability is all about. You're just trying to log. It's just like the way you are entering into an office and you clock in, you clock out. All right. And let's say, for instance, now you're working in a bank, and as you're entering the bank, you clock in. As you open your laptop, let's say there's a document that records it that, oh, you open laptop at so time, you close your laptop at so time, you went to the cafeteria for break at so time, you registered with so person at so time. A document that sort of logs everything like that. How do I put it? That writes that information, like that contains all the information about what you've done for the whole day at the office. So that document is what we call log, like we call them log files. So that is accountability. So and there are ways to which we can implement audit trail. So audit trail is just like, um, it's a kind of log too, but sometimes we create the kind of UI for that. But the difference between audit trail and log is just that, audit trail might be something we built intentionally ourselves. That, okay, fine, this particular system I want it to log stuff. So that one can have a UI. It can have, a designed UI where you can see that, okay, fine, at also time this, at also time this, at also time this. So yeah. So but logs, when you see log files, real log file is very, very boring. Like very, very boring. You just be seeing some one long thing. Most especially if you write code or you are developing software for somebody and you are reading logs of those files. So, I mean, of that kind of project, you just realize that you'll be seeing one long thing. If you're not familiar with that thing before, then you just realize that you might not really understand what is going on there. And another beauty of log is just that it helps you to identify what the problem is and to fix it on time. So say for instance now, there are some, let me remove my glasses so that I can see us very well. Though the thing is entering my eyes. So in some instance, in some instances rather, there are some systems that are built, and when you as a user, when you are using it, you're going to be seeing something like server error or something like 404 or something like there's a designed page that you can see when you are seeing some of those things. So if an engineer is reached out to, and they were telling the engineer that that thing is returning 501 error or 50 some or 500 error. Anything 500 means server error. All right, server error. Anything 500 means server error. So, and this is five whatever error, and as you're seeing the error, you're seeing a design. So once they send it to the engineer might not know what is happening from that exact design. So the engineer would have to go to the log to check what is happening. That is the best way to identify it, because what the engineer is saying is a design. There could have been it might be an issue from the from the provider, from the server provider. It might be an issue with an implementation. Probably there's a data that they are calling that they shouldn't call, or maybe there's a broken something else anywhere, and it is affecting the way the whole process would work or is working. So it can cause a virus. So but how are you going to identify that this is the exact thing happening? So you go to the log files. Bringing it into cybersecurity too, um, when you are facing issues, all right, in cybersecurity. Um, let's say for instance, someone breached your system. Like you record, maybe you guys have an incident. You have an incident, and you're trying to, you know, maybe investigate what happened, what went wrong, and all of that. You know, one of the go-to materials or resources that you can check is your log file. So you have to go to the log file, and then you investigate. Oh, at also time this happened. At also time this happened. At also time this happened. And another thing you might face is that inside that log file, some things might have been deleted. Okay, so and once you are now saying that, oh, between so time and so time, there is no log, nothing was recorded, just know that something has happened. All right, so that's another red flag you should look for maybe when you are auditing. So like, oh, from this time to this time, this thing didn't log anything, and something was ongoing, but nothing was logged because somebody, maybe an insider threat, an insider might have just accessed a particular system and then delete that aspect of the log, and then you just realize that, oh, we cannot find the log again, and all. So that is accountability. Like you're trying to hold people accountable for what they've done, like trying to ensure that they don't deny what they've done. So that's accountability. So it's different from availability, which is one of the three pillars of cybersecurity. Availability has to do with you making a system available to authorized users. Like this user wants to access this thing, and it is available for them to access. So yeah, so let me just quickly give you guys a quick story. On Saturday, when I was supposed to be enjoying myself, and you know, I just got a message that, oh, they were trying to access our server. It's one of the systems we built, and there is this malicious. Let me show you guys what that thing looks like. Deceptive website warning. Yeah. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Yeah, something like this. I'm trying to open it. Uh, I don't know why it's not open. So it looks like you're going to see something like comment. I'm expecting the image to look. Yeah, something like this. So you're going to see deceptive, and it will tell that user that attackers on blah 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 may trick you, like on the name of the website, may trick you into doing something dangerous like installing whatever. And when I saw it, I was like, wow, what exactly is happening? So and I had to stay on top of this thing from morning since around maybe 11 till like maybe around another 11 in the midnight. So because the issue aside, to solve the issue is another thing entirely, because before that thing could be removed, you have to reach out to Google. So there's a way to do it through Search Console. So you log on to Search Console, you submit the request and all. But before you can even do that, you would have to check for all the malwares within that system and try to remove them. So what I had to do was, access the system. Sorry, guys. Like I accessed the system, I saw that the moment I logged in, one thing I saw was I'm trying to come back to this thing so that I can see us. I'm not seeing us like this, and it looks like I'm talking to myself. I'm coming now. Okay. So yeah, I think I'm back here now. So one thing I just noticed there was that inside a particular okay, we're having a very mad network issue. Okay, can you guys hear me? Am I the one having the network issue or you? Can you guys hear me? Okay, if you can hear me, great. So then what I did was that, okay, fine, I quickly investigated that, okay, fine, what was wrong. Then I had to log on to the server, then I began to check. Then I noticed that the hacker was able to, maybe log in or something, penetrate, and inside a particular folder, for some of us that are familiar, it's a Linux. For some of us that are familiar with Linux command, and that's why you guys need to understand command, because when when I logged in, the folder where they put that thing was not showing on your screen. It was not showing on my screen. So I searched for that folder, like after running scans and all of that. So, but you can't see what I'm showing. But can you see my Google Meet? Can you see confidentiality? That's where I am currently. Can you guys see? Okay, okay. So then I mean a scan was run, like I ran a scan to know what the issue was. So then after running that scan, it indicated some
Be on the
stuff.
road
And
please.
Omole, can you please mute yourself? Okay, thank you. So then after running the scan, I began to look for where the folder is. I could not find the folder, right? So, and I noticed that, okay, fine, the folder was stored in some folders that will be having dots. If you're having dot something, maybe dot local, dot this. For some of us that have used SSH very well, you know that most of your SSH keys is stored in dot .ssh, like .ssh folder. So then dot you might not be able to see. In fact, if you are running ls, which is the command, normal Linux command for listing everything in a particular folder, I mean listing what is in a particular directory, it might not be showing, like you might not see. So I had to use some more Linux commands to ensure that I get those folders. So then after getting the folder, then I began to go. So it's just like inside that folder there's another folder, inside that folder there's another folder, inside that folder there's another folder, there's another folder, another folder. So I began to move until I got to where that particular file is. So, and you know I forgot to mention this. The moment I logged into the server, one of the things I saw was that the load was so much. So they planted like two executable files there that were running on the server, and it was really consuming the server resource. So at that point in time, it was creating DDoS because nobody could even access the system again. All right, like nobody could log in, nobody could do anything. Now they were even being stopped by another, malicious information. So we had to look for a way to get there. I removed those stuff. Even before I could remove them, some Linux commands were not working to just remove, so I had to force it. So, and that's when you're going to be using RF. So maybe we're going to get there during the course of the mentorship when we are learning Linux commands. So we removed it. Then after I removed it. Then, after I did that, then I ran another scan. I saw that everything was okay. Then I had to go back to Google Search Console to now log it. Okay, fine, everything is fine now. You can remove this. And I think within like 12 hours they removed it. So why am I saying this? Why am I saying this? It's just to relate what we've learned to how it happens in the real world. All right, so these are some of the things you're going to face, some of the things you're going to encounter. And when you've encountered it once, twice, then you know that I think it's now like how do I put it? It's not like Bobo. For some of us that knew Bobo, I don't know if all of us know Bobo. So, but I took Bobo when I was younger. Like, yeah, it will become like Bobo. But does that mean that it is every challenge that you can always jump at and quickly solve? Maybe not, or maybe no. So, but with time you get to learn. And considering the fact that the internet has now really is now really helping the likes of Gen AIs and all of that, you can literally you know do almost anything now. Even as a newbie, you can do almost anything. If you know how to if you know how to use your prompt or how to trick your AI to give you the right information you need to do something. I mean, you can always do that. So that is just what it looks like in the real world. All right. So the story I just gave you now, you would see that confidentiality was impacted, integrity was impacted, availability was impacted. Because sometimes when you get that error, one of the things some of those hackers do is just to change the permission for files. Files have different permission. You are going to be seeing. I hope I can open a server and show us. You're going to be seeing a particular tab that is showing maybe file permissions. You're going to be seeing maybe 0755. All of those things have meaning. 06 something. So different permissions. Some might be like, oh, this is you can read, you can write. Only you can read. Maybe a root user can read and write. Then others can only read. Like all of those numbers, have their own meanings. So confidentiality was breached in that story. Integrity as well was breached because they began to manipulate files, and we had to, ensure that we restored all file permissions, I mean, to their normal permissions. And at the same time, availability, they were running some executable files on the server, and then that was causing DDoS. All right, it was causing unavailability. Let me put it that way. So because I won't even say that that's really DDoS, because DDoS has to do with distributed denial of service. But this one, they were able to access the system and then plant something there that kept running. So at the moment I deleted that stuff, it was just like when your load is at about maybe 150%, and then it dropped to like 10%. You could see the margin, like you're like, oh wow. So even the server, when I said 150%, it was the server was running beyond its capacity at that point in time. So yeah, that is just how it works. So and you could see that in real world, uh, a single attack can breach all of the three pillars of cybersecurity, and that is why we have to be very very careful. So let's go back to the lesson and let's continue. So uh, confidentiality. Okay, yeah, I think I mentioned confidentiality, and here's the breakdown of what it entails: access controls, mechanisms such as passwords, biometric verification, or access card that limits resource access to authorized personnel, to prevent unauthorized access to information. And then it has encryption too. So the process of encoding information in such a way that only authorized parties can read it, like, yeah, something like that. So and when we are talking about, let me move back to my this thing. When we are talking about the encryption, what encryption really means is that you are trying to you are trying to encode a particular message and trying to change it, a particular message that is readable, and you are trying to change it into something that is not readable. If you check your WhatsApp, they will tell you that end-to-end encrypted. How many of us have seen something like that before? On WhatsApp, when you are most of the messaging applications, you've seen something like that. Okay, amazing, amazing. So you're going to see something like end-to-end encrypted, and what that means is that from as the message was coming from your end, we are encrypting it. All right. So, and then when the message gets to the destination, we decrypt it and then we show it to that user, to the person receiving the message. So what while that person is sending a message to, we encrypt it. All right. You know, till it gets to your end. Once it gets to your end, then we decrypt it. So can we be filed? Can we be filled in, please? I don't get. What do you mean by can we be filled in for? I mean, oh. So OG, someone is raising their hand. I can't see the full name. Yeah, OG Shmoda. Ah, this is superb. So Shmoda, you want to say something? Hope you're trying to say something that can we be filled in, please? So I don't. Some of us lost the first 20 minutes of this class because the link attached to the Monday class was the wrong one. Can we be filled? I'm so sorry. The link attached to the Monday class was the wrong link. I'm so sorry about that. I will have to check. So I knew it that I was on two different meetings. Like I was here, I was in another one here, I was in another one. I don't know. I'm coming. Let me even check. The details to this. Yeah, I hope you can talk. You can speak, please.
Okay, so we stayed on that call. We saw you initially. Good evening, sorry. Good evening, Mr. Victor. Good evening, everyone. So we came on the call, we saw you initially, and then after a while, you left. So we kept on waiting, thinking you would come back.
I'm so sorry. Like I'm using the one
Yeah.
for Thursday. That's a mistake from my end.
Yes.
I'm
So
using the
I had
one.
to go back to use the link for Thursday before I got on the
Jesus
call.
Christ. Can Timley enjoy Solomon? Please help us drop a message on the mentorship community that help us share the one for Thursday. Please, I'm so sorry. And someone among us can help us share the one for Thursday too. That this is the one we are using. I'm so sorry about that. I'm so sorry. So Hope, I will just try to go back a bit. So what we've been trying to talk about is just how CIA is applied in the real world, and I explained, an attack I experienced on Wednesday. It was launched towards one of our client system, and should I say network? Yeah, and we had to help them solve the problem. So what happened was, there was this deceptive platform that was showing. I don't know if you can see my screen. You're going to see something showing like something like deceptive site ahead. So, and I mentioned that when some of these things happen, when something like this happen, it means that there's a malicious script running on your server. Now, please, for some of us that copy codes, I don't know, maybe some of us who have been software engineers before, and now we are not software engineers. I mean, we are now into cybersecurity, maybe people like myself, and then you're trying to solve a problem, and the next thing you could do was just so maybe your code was breaking or a part was not working, and the next thing you could do was just to go online, search for the problem, then you copy some script or something, or probably some people download templates maybe to use, and while downloading that template they never knew that the template was carrying malicious scripts, and then you are using it on your server. So one of the things, some of these search engines have done to protect or prevent users from, being maliciously affected, let me put it that way, is just to ensure that they try to read through that particular system or website they are trying to access. And if they notice that there's a malware there, then they're going to notify the user and tell them not to proceed. Okay, even if that particular platform is having SSL in place, because the one that happened on Saturday was having SSL. Do you understand? So even if it was having SSL, like it is still, how do I put it now? It will still be flagged. So what you have to do when you're experiencing that, probably maybe you're at work, and one of your websites, because there are platforms that have several websites. Yeah, even for telnetting, I think we have three independent websites: one for the business, one for users, another one for agents, which is Strive now, and we have like two different mobile applications, both on Play Store and App Store. Yeah, though there's a particular interface, API that interface with the two mobile applications. So systems like that, and we are just growing, right? But there are systems, or should I say, there are businesses that they are going to have more than a single website or a single web application, more than a single resource, and you need to ensure that you protect everything. So let's now assume maybe where you work, or probably you are consulting in an organization and you want to consult for an organization, maybe as your client, and they experience that. So what you need to do is to copy the link to that website, go on Google Search Console. Let me show you guys. So just come to Google Search Console, and then you click on Google Search Console. You come to Start Now, and then here you are going to put either the domain name, maybe if it is telnetting now, you can put telnetting.com.
Mr. Victor, I think you're only sharing your screen. We can't see the Google console.
Oh, really? Hey, Jesus Christ. Let me stop sharing. Oh, wow. Let me share the entire screen, guys. So you guys will be able to see my entire screen now. Can you see where I am now? Please, somebody should talk.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, I think after today's class we're going to have a course rep, and yeah, so that I can be speaking with the course rep sometime when I'm not seeing my screen. Okay, thank you. So then this is Google Search Console. Just search for Google Search Console, on your search engine, and then it will bring this, and then click on it, then come to Start Now. And then once you get to Start Now, you can either put the domain name there. Let's say Amazon.com, or let's say Facebook.com. Then you are now going to click on continue to verify. So, but the downside to this is that anybody can be doing it and be saying that, oh, I want to check this, I want to check that. So there's a way they can verify. Do you get? So what they will tell you is that copy this thing, all right, and then copy this, because this is someone is raising their hand again. Like, can the person speak, or is it a message, or someone is raising their hand? Okay, so I think I can proceed. Um, So then for this one, you are going to, they say select the record, which is the TXT record. So for this one, most of the time you are going to see it in your DNS zone manager, like that section. That's when you're going to see all of these records. But um, it's not something you need right now. So let me just click on remove property. Let me click on remove. So you can literally come here too. All right, you can select this second option. I think is the most used. You can see that this is even still new. So then you come here, then you input the URL to that website, or to the page that was showing that error. All right, because the landing page might not be showing the error, it might be the login page that is showing that error. And this is the error I was trying to show you the other time, for those that were not seeing my screen when I mentioned it. So now you can just impute the URL here. For this one, this will carry HTTPS, and then you're going to just put, say, anything. Um, let's say w3schools.com, and then you're going to launch it. And after launching it, then it's going to tell you that, okay, fine, download this file, then go to the root directory on your server for that particular domain that you just put there for the URL. Then download this file and upload that file there. That is a way to confirm that you are the owner of the plan of the website. You get what I'm trying to say? So that's why they are doing it. And another option is to use HTML tag. Like, we all know that I don't want to go into programming now. So we are familiar, some of us are familiar with HTML. It's a markup language, hypertext markup language. And inside that particular, most of our websites run, most of them use HTML. Like, they use, at least as the root, most of them are still built on HTML. Whether you are using Vue.js, maybe you are using Vue to build, you are using React to build, you are using what other front end framework are they using now to build, anyone that you're using to build, you you are still going to experience, some of these tags, right? So some of those frameworks are just simplified so that you can, I mean, it can make the work faster for you. But you are still going to see something like HTML tags there. So what you just need to do is to copy the tags and then paste it in the head section. At the beginning you're going to be having HTML, then after that the head section. It's inside the head section you're going to be seeing something like title, something like links, sometimes scripts, because sometimes we can find scripts in the body too. You can find the script tag there too. And after that, then you're going to have the body section, all right, where you can now have everything that you want them to see on your website. Because everything we are seeing right now here is within the body tag. Is within the body tag. So, but at the headers tag, that's when you're going to be having the metadata. You're going to be having, the head tag now, within in between the head tag, because you're having the opening head and closing head tag. So that's when you're going to have maybe links. Some of those links might be links that you are using for that particular platform, because you might be using some libraries to make that particular platform load well. You might be using, several other things. You might even be using a script, maybe a kind of JavaScript, for a particular response. Maybe once they click on button, something is popping up. All of those things are being controlled by JavaScript. So it can be there, but JavaScript can as well be in the body section. So, but they are not going to see it. Basically, you will only be the one that you that you are coding will be the one that will see it. So, we are going to copy these and put them in the head tag, and then you save it and you come back here to verify. So the moment you come back here to verify, it will tell you that, oh, it is verified, or probably you downloaded this and you've uploaded it in. If you are using small servers like shared hosting and all of that, you are going to be seeing something like public HTML. Some of us experienced something like public HTML before. Like maybe some of us that have used some shared hosting. Anybody here? Anybody? Like you've heard of public HTML before? Jesus Christ. So none of us have heard of public HTML before. Nobody? Really? Okay, don't let me go there then. So, I mean, don't let me go there. I'm back. I'm back. So, then you're going to upload the file there, or you put that tag, I mean, that particular line of code in the now cybersecurity will be lol, you program. So you put it there, then you verify. So once you verify, then it will bring out all the errors like that are wrong with it. So it is going to show some, so because we cannot verify here, so we might not be able to see, but it will show some, if you have more than one, it will list everything, all the issues. So you click on, I think, for report. There's a section for report. Then you click on that, then it will show everything for you. Then you now start picking it one after the other to look at what the issue is. Then you now go back to your system, I mean to your server or whatever, to rectify those things. So once you're done, then there's a particular text box here that you're going to fill, and then you fill that text box and say, oh, I've removed all the malware. We never had the intention to have something like that. Maybe it was just a database, it's now secure. So once you've done that, you submit it. In the next 12 hours or less than 12 hours, they're going to reach out to you claiming that, oh, they've helped you resolve the issue, and then they will now remove this particular thing from your website. Because if they don't remove it, even after you have removed the malware from your system, it is still going to be there. Like this thing is still going to be there. So yeah, does anyone have any question based on what I've explained so far, or can I proceed? Time has gone already. Oh, Jesus Christ. Wait, oh, when did we start? 9 o'clock. Wow, wow, time has gone. Yeah, sorry for the little mix up that happened at the beginning. So yeah, hope I believe I've been able to brief you on um, I've been able to brief you on what we've done so far before you guys joined. Okay, so I think we can continue now. So yeah, we have access control, we have encryption. It was the encryption I was talking about before Hope raised that concern. So and for encryption, I was mentioning that on WhatsApp, you're going to be seeing something like end-to-end encrypted. It might not be WhatsApp alone. WhatsApp, Signal, which other messaging platform? Messenger, you know, maybe Instagram. You're going to see something like end-to-end encrypted. And what that means is that once the message is coming from you, as they are getting the message, they are encrypting it, and then they are now. It is that what's it called? That encrypted message that will now go through the channel. All right. Then once it gets to that particular person's end, then it is being decrypted. So maybe when we get to OSI model, we can explain some of these things but very well. You know, we have 7 layers of OSI model from the top: application, presentation, session. I think after that, transport, network, um, then data link, and you know, the physical layer. Yeah, we have 7 layers, but in TCP/IP we have 4 layers. All right. So, but when we get there, maybe I'll be able to explain how some of these things work. That when you are sending a message, this is how it works. At the application layer, then this is what is happening. At the presentation, this is what is happening, and all of that. But basically, just understand that encryption is just a way of scrambling your data rather, and then changing it into an unreadable format. That unreadable format is what we call ciphertext. All right. So we call it ciphertext, like ciphertext, CIPHER, then TEXT. So, and once you're sending a message, it is being transformed from the plain text to ciphertext, and then once it gets to the person's end, there is a process called decryption happening, which is the, how do I put it, the the should I say transfer, or the process of decoding from a ciphertext now to a plain text so that the person will be able to read it. So that is end-to-end encryption. So, and in confidentiality, we use it so that if there is anything called man in the middle attack, man in the middle attack is just that you're having, I'm coming, let me see if I can get my pen. You're having I'm not sure I can just write here basically. So let's say, I'm not sure if this one have, sorry guys, against next class I will get a better interface for this thing. I'm not sure this would work for it. Uh, let me see, is this working? It's not even working at all. It's not responding. So sorry about that. So maybe against next class I'll get a better interface than this. I was thinking I was going to use my Mac. But I think it was the mix up we had from the beginning that was making me to realize that you guys were not seeing me. I was seeing myself. Don't worry guys. I apologize for that. So yeah, that is how to make information confidential. So I was explaining man in the middle attack, and that is the process whereby somebody intercepts your message, like maybe through your channel. Say for instance, you are here, and another particular person is here. Probably you're having two devices. Say we're having like two devices. This particular device is sending a message to this particular device. So now, along the line, while this particular one is trying to send a message, there is now another device that is trying to intercept. Say maybe this one is now coming in their middle to intercept that message that is being sent by this and to be gotten by this. Do you get? So now if this particular person intercepts the message in between, what the person will be seeing is the ciphertext, not the plain text. So the person is not going to be seeing the real text that they are exchanging or that they are sending. So because once it gets to this particular person's end, it is being decrypted. And if the person will send a response, the person would as well send another message, and then it will be encrypted at that instant. And then even if this particular person, this idiot at the middle, wants to intercept, it will still intercept and get the ciphertext. But when it gets to this particular device, this person too would be getting the um will be getting the decrypted version of it, because at that instant it will be decrypted, and then the person would get the exact message. So that is just what man in the middle attack is all about. So what we do is that we encrypt, all right? Even in finance, when you are building APIs now, when you are making, there's a way, let's say for instance now, what platform can I use? On Jumia, you want to pay. I believe most of us are Nigerians. Let me use AWS. AWS is global. So on AWS, when you want to make payments, then at some point that they are going to say that, okay, fine, make payment, maybe checkout. Yeah. On the checkout page, you're going to pick maybe a particular payment modality, or maybe payment mode. Maybe you want to use PayPal, you want to use for Nigerian. I don't know if they have Flutterwave, or you want to use card payment. I think they have their own payment infrastructure. So once you've selected that and you're trying to pay, there's a if you are inputting your card details, they are not just sending your card details to the server like that. They are encrypting it. As they are getting it, they are encrypting it so that if anybody intercepts it along the line, then they don't see the exact message. They don't see your card details, because if they did not encrypt it, just imagine, a lot of attacks would have happened. They would just be getting card details and all of that. So you have to always encrypt, and you need to have that at the back of your mind too. Am I the only one that can only see confidential? Okay, okay. So yeah, I think that that is all about confidentiality. So let me just move fast. So then we have okay, for this secure communication, I think I've explained most of this. Then for integrity, so for integrity, there are three key aspects to we should take note of, and that is data accuracy, data consistency, data trustworthiness. In the sense that data has to be accurate. I am sending an email to you, and I'm sending, hello dear, I hope you are fine. I don't want the email to get to your end, and the email must have, would have changed to, hello dear, you must be a very stupid person. So the integrity has to be there. Okay, so the integrity has to be there, the data has to be accurate, and the data has to be consistent, in the sense that what I'm sending is what you are receiving. All right, what you are sending to me is what I'm receiving. And the data trustworthiness, like I have to trust basically what is being sent. I got a message now. Okay, yeah. I had to send I had to, what's it called? Data trustworthiness. Yeah, I have to trust what is being sent and what is being received. So then for integrity, we have checksums, cryptographic hash functions. For checksums now, if you are installing a particular software, each of the software you are installing has checksums. Okay, so you can go to their website to check for the checksums. Okay, what's the checksum for this software? Because when a particular, let's say Microsoft now is pushing updates, all right. So once they are pushing updates and they release a particular memo, or maybe you saw it on a particular blog that, oh, Microsoft just released say Windows 11. But you as a person, instead of you to go to Microsoft website to download Windows 11, maybe just because it is paid there, you now look for platforms like Get Into PC or platforms like, you guys should give me the names of those platforms, that you know where you get some of those software from. So you go to those platforms and you try to download the software. Softonic, God bless you. And while downloading the software, you never knew that you are downloading a malicious script. Okay, so once you've downloaded the software, before you can even say that you are trying to install it or launch it on your device, check for the there are ways to which you can check for the checksum for that particular this, and compare it with what is on the Microsoft website. All right, so check, compare. Okay, is this thing the same? If it is the same, then you can launch. Okay, so there are a lot of attacks that have happened. I wish I can explain things and break them down, but I feel my time is really, really, running, and we are still on CIA. But once you guys get this CIA very well, you've gotten it. Like, you've gotten cybersecurity, because you are now going to start thinking like a cybersecurity professional. Okay, so left to me, if not for what I want to do, I can be on this call for the next 3 hours, because I like teaching. Like, it's my passion. I can even be here till the next 2 hours, but I just have a lot of things to do, and I know that we have things to do too. But let me just try to fast track things. So um then we have cryptographic hash too. Yeah, we can say hash. So you can go to that particular website and check for the hash. Okay, and try to compare if it is correct. So for checksums and cryptographic hash functions, they say these are algorithms that produce a fixed size bit string from arbitrary length strings of the. Let me just explain what how these work for you. So now, let's assume, okay, let's try to do something together on integrity. Um, that there are different hash functions that we have. Can somebody give me some hash functions, how you can hash something? Can somebody, like, we have bcrypt, we have mode 5, uh, and mode, I mean MD5 rather. MD5 means message digest. I think we have lower MDs too. We have SHA-256. I mean, you guys should talk now. I believe you guys are expert. Yeah, SHA-256. Thank you. So yeah, MD5. Yeah, I think I mentioned that. So we have SHA-256. We have MD5. We have bcrypt. I think sometimes when I was learning how to develop software, I once used bcrypt. That's what we used to hash password. So let me just quickly, because it won't make sense if I'm teaching you guys and I'm not relating it to how it works in the real world. Now, if you are supplying your password to a particular platform, do you know what they do? They hash it. They don't encrypt password. They hash password. So what hashing means is that you are trying to convert a particular message. Like, even if that message is up to like 1,000 lines, you are you are hashing it into a kind of fixed length. Okay, so and if you change a word in that, or even if you change a letter in that thing, the whole hash will change. Everything will change. Like, if you change a single letter in that, I'm going to practicalize it for us to see. If we change a single letter inside that thing, every single thing there will change. Everything will change. So what we use hash to do is just that. And okay, for hashing now, hashing you cannot dehash. When I was mentioning encryption, I said that you can decrypt. When you decode something, when you encode something, you should be able to decode. Encoding, decoding is being used in communication. I think I did that when I was an undergraduate. Like, communication, like maybe when you're dealing with something like electrical signals, like, yeah, then they will say that, oh, that's when you start using decoding, encoding, decoding, modulation, demodulation, and all of that. But in cybersecurity, but you might be hearing something like that. So, but in cybersecurity, majorly, yeah, hash is one way. Hash is just one way. So you cannot dehash. Once you've hashed it, nobody can. Though there are some that have been broken, and that's why they will advise you not to use them. All right. So some earlier versions of SHA have been broken. See, I think SHA means secure hash algorithm or something. That's the full meaning of SHA. The S8. Let's search for it together. SHA meaning, I think it's secure hash algorithm. Yeah, I'm correct. Secure hash algorithm, and then we have several SHA-256 and many more. So let's just say SHA-256 hash generator. So then let's use this. So now you will see that if I should hash, okay, like say for instance, now I want to hash something. Let me go to Lorem Ipsum. Lorem Ipsum is just a platform where I can get random text. Like, now, if I want to get like 1 million words, I can get it. For some of us that write code and build software, you are going to be familiar with this platform, because even inside your VS Code, there's a way you can generate it. So let's say, for instance, I want to use this. I want to encrypt. I want to hash this. So now I can bring it here, and then I'll click on generate. So I want to generate a hash version of this. So please, let's take note of what the hash looks like. Then I'm generating now. Okay, can you see that it is in fixed length? Like, if I should, like, can you guys see this? So let me just copy this and paste it inside our meeting chat box. So we can see that. Okay, can we guys see? You can see now. Please take note of that. I've sent that to you. So now let's now go back to the SHA algorithm. You can see the, what's it called, the, how do I put it, the hash value. Now this is what we call hash value. The algorithm that is converting it from the plain text into the hash value is what we call hash function. Like, that's the hash algorithm. Like, hash function, like, is the one staying in between. Say for instance, plain text hash function, then what's it called now, then the hash value, like plain text hash function hash value, like something like that. So now, say for instance, we just want to change this to this necessary whatever. We want to change it to word. You're just changing something small, like normally everything shouldn't change. Maybe a part of it should change, but let's see what will happen. Can you see it has entirely like let me copy this and let me now paste here. So you can see that just with just a single word, even if it's a single letter I changed, you can see that everything has changed. And regardless of the number of letters, because if I should come here and say for instance, I am saying I am a good boy. Am I not a good boy? Yes, I am. I am a good boy. Now this is short, then we should say okay fine, since it is short, the hash value shouldn't be short. But behold, my dear brothers and sisters, it is still the same fixed length. Alright? So and that is why we say that it converts a particular. You can't see my screen care. Is it only you? Please see my screen. Is it only you that cannot see my screen? Okay, okay, you can see. Any other person? Okay, okay, okay. All right, makes sense. So you can see that it is converting it into a fixed length, like a fixed length. This is just I am a good boy. This is just I am a good boy. Now, this is the lorem ipsum one that I first used, and I just changed a single word. You can see that it changed entirely. Every single thing changed. And that's the beauty of hash. So now you cannot say that you want to dehash it, because this is how your password process works. When you are filling a particular form, say for instance, let's come to telnet. So when you are okay, this is telnet platform now. Let's say for instance you want to register. Now as you want to register on this particular platform, you put your name, your email address, your phone number, password, confirm password. Once you are inputting your confirm password here, this thing is generating password for me. So you can say what. So once I put my password here, all right, it is not matching. Let me use the one Google generated for me. So what would happen at that instant is that it will be hashed immediately. Let's say I'm using something, it doesn't have to match. I'm just want to use it as an example. So immediately it will be hashed. And once it is hashed, what would happen? It is that hash value that they are going to store in the database. Why are they doing this? So that when an attacker accessed that particular database, say for instance the attacker was able to manipulate and enter maybe through SQL injection or something, and the person was able to get inside the database, the person won't be able to see the raw password. He will be seeing the hashed version. And if you copy that hashed version and you say you want to use it to log in, it won't work. It won't work, because when the person wants to log in again, the person would have to put that password, and what would happen behind the scene is that that password again will be hashed, because if I am a boy is hashed 1 million times, the hash value will still be the same unless something changed there. Are you guys understand what I'm trying to say? If I am hashing I am a boy, if I am a boy is my password and I'm hashing it 1 million times, the hash value will still be the same. So once a particular user is coming back again to log in with that password and username, as the person is inputting the username and inputting the password, they are not just comparing that plain password with what is inside the database. What they are comparing is that they are going to collect that password, hash it at that particular point in time using the same hash algorithm they used for the one in the database, and then compare the two hash values. They will now compare that okay fine, the hash value for the password this person is imputing and the hash value for the password in the database. They will now compare the two together. Do they match? If they match, they are going to give you access. Then that is when you're going to log in. Is that clear? That is what is happening in the process of logging into a particular system. Is it clear now? So it's not that maybe they are storing that password like that. No. In fact, if you see a platform that is storing your password like that, arrest them because it is against almost all frameworks. All frameworks. So I think I should stop. Okay, let me just quickly talk about availability. Then I stop. I've explained availability. So for you to maintain availability, you need to have redundancy, fault tolerance, backup system. Redundancy is just that you are creating multiple copies of data. or system component that can take over in case of failure. Say for instance now, I am having two devices. Once this device fail, there's a way I've configured my system that this one starts working. All right. So, and in some systems like that, we have load balancer. Load balancer in the sense that, okay, fine, there are several requests coming in, coming in, coming in. When you are seeing platforms like Amazon, maybe AWS, I mean Amazon, let's say Amazon, they are not just saying that all your requests are not just going to their server like that. It's first to enter into load balancer. They can have like 100 servers. All right. So, and each of those servers have their own capacity. So, once your requests are coming in, it is coming into that load balancer. Load balancer will not be the one to distribute it to servers. Okay, this one is processing 100 already. This one has 50. Okay, let me send this request to this one. This one have 10. Let me send this request to this one, so that a particular server will not be too overloaded. And that is, what we call redundancy sometimes. So to just ensure that, maybe in the case of failure now, as they are using load balancer to ensure that they distribute stuff across all their servers, if there is a failure, what the load balancer will do is that it will notice, okay, fine, I mean, I've been sending stuff to this particular server, I'm not getting anything since, right? So then it will be like, okay, fine, I'm not sending there again. So let me just distribute to other servers. So that is what we call redundancy, in the sense that, in the event of failure on in one or two, there are others, sort of systems that can take something, that can take that process over, and then the whole thing would continue, the business will continue to run, and then they can come back here and then, fix whatever issue that is wrong with the server, and then, if that one comes back, then load balancer will start giving it load again or request again for it to handle. So fault tolerance, system has to be fault tolerance, in the sense that it shouldn't just be that every small little thing, then the system is down. All right. So I mean, we have to use components that are, for some of us that do software engineering, I mean, I software that do engineering in school, that did engineering in school, you would have been familiar with this term, like fault tolerance. Like, system has to be tolerant. Like, it's not that any small thing system has broken, any small thing system has broken. I don't be like some players that any small thing they've gone an injury. Yeah, so that's what we call fault tolerance. So, backup system means that, okay, fine, as we are doing something, I mean, as we are, accessing accessing a particular system. Let's say, for instance, we are running a business now, and we are collecting data day by day. Say for instance, your bank, they are collecting data day by day, new customers are coming in and all of that. So they have a server, all right, that is running, that is on production, that is running. We have several environments. We have production, we can have staging, we can have sandbox, we can have test environments. Yeah. But let's production is the one that you as a person you can have access to. Maybe when you want to log into your application, what you are doing now, what you are doing at that point in time is running on a production environment. So now there's a particular database on the production environment. When you are logging in, it is the one that they are going to check with. Okay, fine. This particular thing, this data is correct. Okay, reroute it here. Do this. Do this. It is the database on production. So if they want to have backup for such a thing now, they can say that, okay, fine, this particular, as this data is being stored in the database, we are creating a copy for it in another part. All right, that one could be on, maybe the main database you are using is sitting on AWS. Your backup can be sitting on Cloudinary. All right, it can be sitting on digital ocean, in the sense that even if AWS is compromised, you have your backup on another platform where you can get it from. Some people, their backup, it's on site, it's on prem. All right. So as they are doing it, there's a particular, maybe a particular system that is storing that database, that is stored and is collecting in real time. So we have different types of backup too. Some backups are like real-time backup, like, as if you are logging, if you are registering now, immediately as you are putting your name, Hope, this, or Victor Akionde, it is, as the database in production is storing it, it is sending it immediately to the backup database. So that is, I mean, yeah, backup database, that is real-time backup. And then we can have there's another one. I mean, we have like two other types. Eh, I want to remember these things. So some of these terms, just maybe when I remember, if I remember before the class. So there are some other types, and I'll just explain them. Another type is that they are going to back up, maybe, say for instance, at every 7 a.m. Then you are going to create a copy of the database, I mean, or of that, system, and then send it to the backup. All right, so that one has a particular fixed time that when that is done. And the downside for that is that if if you are backing up at exactly 7 a.m. in the morning, that means that between 7 a.m. and 6:59 a.m. of the following day, you are not backing anything up. Everything that has happened between after that 7 a.m. till 6:59 a.m. of the another day, if a breach happened by 6:58, you've lost everything. You've lost those things, I mean, that happen within that particular window. You've lost them. So, and that's why we don't advise that. And there's another aspect to that. You back up, I mean, how do I put it now? Like, as you're trying to create a copy, the first one is that you're trying to create a copy real time. The second one is at a particular point in time, you try to put that. So there's another one that intertwined uh, the real time one and this other one. So, and that one could be like maybe at instead of a particular fixed time, all right, maybe there's a kind of dynamic backing up, like, okay, fine, when so thing happen, or maybe at this particular point in time, that would just be some, should I say, some variables that constitutes that. So then, that backup will be done dynamically, and then it will be updated. But the most advisable one is the real-time backup. So I think I've been able to explain stuff. So then in the next class, we're going to talk about this that triad, which is the opposite of the CIA triad. So confidentiality is the opposite of disclosure. Alteration is the opposite of integrity. Then denial is the opposite of availability. So then we have the CIA triad and we have the DAR triad. Some of us might have not heard that triad before because it's the CIA triad that is popular. Okay, so I would just like to get questions and then to rub minds together with us before we go today. So the essence of the mentorship is so that we can have an insight into how some of these things work real time, not to just get practical, I mean, get theory, and all. So yeah, I believe you guys have learned one or two things in today's class, right? So yeah, if you have, just let me see that. Okay, fine. You have. Okay, let's do it like this. There's something I do when I teach. On a scale of 1 to 10, rate today's class. So be like on a scale of 1 to 10, rate today's class. So yeah, I'll be expecting to hear from us. I've been having calls here, man. Okay. I think I'm getting the messages already. So yeah, do you have any questions? Any questions? So I think somebody is asking something here. Is it part attack or something? Part attack. Are you talking about part attack or on path attack? Because in cybersecurity, it is called on path attack, like on path attack. And what that means is that man in the middle attack. All right, man in the middle on path attack, like they are just like the same thing. So because the person is coming into the path to pick that data you guys are trying to transfer. So yeah, I think I should get our questions. Okay, before we start getting questions, Gift, are you on the call? I want Gift to quickly say something.
Yeah, good evening.
Okay, yeah, good evening. So one of us have passed, his ISC square exam, and he has passed his CompTIA Security Plus exam too. So, and I got a message from him today, and I want him to share it with us on this call because it's really a good news and it's a motivation to almost all of us. Yeah, fast. We don't joke here. So it's a motivation to almost all of us on this call. So yeah, I would just like him to talk. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. Good evening, everyone.
Yeah, good
Thank you,
evening.
Mr. Victor, for this opportunity. All right, so um, where would I start from? Actually, I don't know. Like, it's actually been a very long journey. Yeah, so I started with cybersecurity last year. Yeah, I started with cybersecurity last year, and I had this mindset that I needed to switch my career because then I was taking on CS role in my then former company. So funny enough, I discovered that I couldn't do the role again. So I had to resign. I resigned from my work so that I could actually focus on the cybersecurity career. At some point, I wanted to give up, but I had this drive that, okay, I need to keep pushing. This is actually a career that could actually help me in the future, that could actually motivate me, boost me, and all. So I kept pushing, I kept studying. And the truth was, I had some people that also like they dropped from the course. Yeah. And at some point I was like, wow, this course is actually overwhelming because this was not what I was actually thinking about. But God being God and me being myself, I kept pushing. And trust me, I discovered that when you have a drive for something and you put in the work, you get to learn more. Like you get to conquer that your fear. So funny enough, I kept pushing and I got the idea, I got some of the tricks in cybersecurity, know some of the stuffs and all. Then I just decided that okay, I need to start writing the exams. So I personally kept my own dates on when I need to write my exams. And those dates really was a motivation to me because if I didn't put the dates, I wouldn't have had the drive. I would have kept on, okay, let me just keep reading and all. So when I had my dates for my exams, like I had to fix my dates, and I had the drive to prepare for those exams. And God being faithful, I was in the last 2 weeks. Yeah, last 2 weeks I did the ISC2, and by the grace of God, I passed that one. And I had this confidence that okay, by then I've not fixed my CompTIA. I won't lie to you, I've not fixed my CompTIA. But when I passed ISC2, I was so motivated. I was like, guy, I need to try CompTIA. I need to try CompTIA. Like I need to try it. Anyhow it won't be. I must try CompTIA. I gave CompTIA and I was telling my guys, I was telling my friends that see, if I pass ISC2, I just give CompTIA 1 week. I must write CompTIA. When I got the ISC2, I was even scared when I was seeing my result. Like I said, hope I never fail. But God being God, I passed. So I took just 1 week because I needed 1 week to just do like a revision, a quick revision before I could do CompTIA. So I kept it today. My CompTIA was today, like today, not even yesterday or anything. Today, I kept my CompTIA today. I went to the hall. I was scared. I was like, God, can I pass this? I had to pray. I did my necessary prayer. I did my necessary work. I went to the hall today. I was cold. I won't lie. I was very cold. So I attempted the questions. I had to do my revision. I had to go back to number one to check back whether I could actually, like, I got up to 50 questions I was sure of. And trust me, while I was going, tracing down all my questions, I could count up to 50 questions out of 76 that I was actually sure of. And when I counted 50, I was like, I don't pass this exam. Only for me to because I saw the TA was behind me. I don't know why she was behind me. I don't even know the reason why she was behind me. So I now clicked submit. I ended my exams and waiting for the result to pop up. Well, the good news was the result popped up and I got what I got. And it's all glory to God, actually. So I couldn't hide it. I had to speak with Mr. Victor to also appreciate him and also share the good news and everything. And thank you very much, Mr. Victor, for this opportunity. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, everyone.
Okay,
Thank you.
yeah, thank you so much, Gift, for sharing the good news. I think this is a motivation to all of us on the call, including myself, because since last year now, I bought a voucher to write an exam. There was something he said that I picked, and I think it's very, very valid because when I was starting out in cybersecurity, I was taking a course then, and I mean online, right? And the teacher mentioned, see, if you want to write any certification exam, fix a date for it, register it, buy the full voucher, and fix a date for it. Thank you so much. Put a date to it. Once you've registered and you put a date to it, and you already know that, oh, this thing is happening at so time, you will read. You are going to prepare for it. So yeah, it's very, very valid. I've bought a voucher to a particular penetration testing exam for over 6 months now, and I've not written it. And do you know why? Because they mentioned that the voucher doesn't expire, that I can write the exam anytime I want to. So because of that, I've not written the exam up till now, up till now. So I've not written the exam. So I've taken other courses, done some other amazing things after that, and I've not, registered for the exam. So, Gift, thank you so much. Thank you for sharing this. Thank you for encouraging us. I believe that this is a motivation to all of us to do more and to push further, right? To deliver the ability that is inside of us. You could hear when he mentioned that, the moment he passed ISC square and he was able to, you know, he got that confidence in himself that he was going to pass the second one, I mean, which is the CompTIA, and he did. So the faith, and when he was talking, you could realize I was mentioning God. God. Hope you've dropped your hand. I can see the hands of, like, I can see everybody raising their hands. So I will still call you. Don't worry. So, I just want us to see this as a form of encouragement, and to just see this as a kind of push to do, to do more and then to do better. So for some of us who don't have the money to register for the exam, I pray that God will provide. Certifications now are not crazily expensive. And another best way to ensure that you get some of the certification is by working. All right, try to get a job, work in a reputable firm, in a firm that you know that they're after your growth or your career growth. In the sense that once you've gotten a job there, some of them would say that, oh, let's pay for your certification. So there can be an agreement. Probably you guys will reach an agreement. Okay, fine. If you pay for this certification, we are investing 1 million naira in you. You are not going to leave the company in the next 1 year. If you're okay with it, you can do it. But personally, me, I don't really support signing. So I just want to do things with my own money and then I get out. So yeah, and I look out for discounts too. If you want to write CompTIA, you can register for it under emerging markets. I think that one is discounted. Is about, is it not 200 and something dollars, maybe $26 in total. Um, Instead of maybe close to $300 that you're going to maybe you're going to spend on the CompTIA website. I mean the main CompTIA shop. So you can register for it under emerging market. So maybe in one of our coming classes, I can show you how to do that. All right, congratulations once again, Gift. I'm so happy to know that. So keep the fire burning and keep the good works up. Yeah, congrats. So yeah, I think it was Sam that raised his hand first. So Sam, let's hear from you. I think you have a question. So yeah, before you speak, Sam, Francisca mentioned that is it theory. So
Okay.
sometimes it is. I mean, it's not theory. Everything is MCQ, but it is scenario. Most of the time, it's scenario based. And if you've been under my tutelage, you will know that I don't set what is, how is. You will never see that. For some of us that are in old school and are writing there, someone texted me this one was like, Mr. Victor, even the English in the questions, you want to so it will still be scenario based. If I'm setting questions for it will be simple, all right? Because I'm not testing how do I put it? I'm not testing the head knowledge. I'm testing, the practical aspect of the question. Like, do you understand the state? All right. So because I want to put you in the position that, okay, fine, if you are on site, if you are on a client side, if you are within a client's infrastructure, and then you're asked to do something, how are you going to do it? It's very simple now. How are you going to do this, or how are you going to solve the problem? So yeah, I think that is it. So please, you need to get yourself familiar with scenario based questions, and that's why if I will ask, even on our community, the brain teaser we had is scenario based, because we want you to start thinking critically, all right? And that's the essence of building a community, or the essence of doing this. All right, thank you. So Adeyinka Sam, you can speak now.
Good evening. Please, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Thank you so much for the class. That's been an amazing one, actually. So, to my question here, when you were explaining about hashing the other time, you said if someone used "I am a boy" as password and it is being checked 1 million times, the hashing will be the same. But
Yes.
now my question is, if like every one of us here is using the same password to log into a site, are we going to be given the same hash value, or we have like a hash table that will give us different hash value?
Okay, that's a great question. In simple term, uh, so in simple term, right? I would say if they don't use an additional term called sorting, all right, you are going to get the same thing. All right. So now let me now explain sorting to you. Sorting is the process of saying, okay, as you are, how do I put it now? As you are trying to enter a particular system, as you are trying to add your password, like maybe when you're trying to register, there is this sorting algorithm to that generates some random characters and then add it to your stuff and encrypt it. Do you get? So it encrypts it and then it stores it. So now you you as a person, your own password might be I'm a boy, and they're adding like XMW to it. Me, I'm using I'm a boy, and they're adding like WTMTGF to it. You're going to see that we're going to have different stuff because they are, using salting. Salting is just like you're adding salt, all right? So they are salting it, and then they are now, and I mean they are now hashing the value for what's it called, what they've salted. So because you have your password plus the salt that they're adding to it, and they now encrypt that salt, then so they store it in the database. But if they did not add salting, it will be the same because that is hashing for you.
All right. All right, sir. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. So I was seeing many hands before. Chinyere, you were raising your hand too before. Is Chinyere still on this call? So, Aisha, we
Yes,
can.
yes, yes. Good evening.
Okay, you dropped your hand.
Yes, Sam already asked the question I wanted to ask.
Okay, that's the question you wanted to ask. Okay, okay. So you guys are thinking at the same frequency. I
Yeah.
love, I love that. So yeah, Aisha, you can ask your question. Aisha, are you there?
I'm there. I'm trying to unmute myself. Good evening, sir.
Yeah,
Good
good
evening,
evening.
everybody.
Yeah, good evening. Oh, all right, Aisha. Before you speak, Timileyin, Joy, Solomon, any of us, please let's drop the link to your attendance in the chat section. So all right, thank you. So yeah, you can speak now, Aisha.
Okay, sir. Sir, okay, I have a very I don't want to say funny question, but it's just related to the ashing.
Okay.
I when you were speaking, I realized that you said something like they cannot encrypt our password. They have to like hash it in order to
Not
like
not that they cannot though.
mitigate.
I said they don't.
Okay.
They don't
They
encrypt.
don't.
They hash.
Okay, because I feel like my question now is that the reason is it that they have to they have to be compliant with all these standards. That's why they have to use hashing instead of encryption. Because I was reading one time that even if they encrypt a password, there's something like rainbow tables that they can use to like compare and just decrypt and stuff like that. So I actually want you to like explain how rainbow tables work, and also to maybe like confirm if truly maybe like encryption is now like old when it comes to passwords, and maybe like is hashing that they now use to be compliant. So that's my question. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so you're asking two questions. One, to explain how rainbow table works. Two,
Yes.
to explain why they use hashing instead of
Encryption.
encryption. So I think I will pick one of the questions because I wouldn't want to go too technical now. At least let's pick it bit by bit so that maybe when we get into it, because we're still going to get to encryption. Encryption is another massive, like cryptography is the real topic. It's another massive space. In fact, that is the domain of some people. They are not interested in any other thing. So let's just pick it bit by bit so that at least the
Mm,
more we learn today we can assimilate. So now the reason why they don't encrypt is because for every encryption there is a decryption. You've already answered it. All right. In the sense that you mentioned that they can use rainbow table to know that okay, fine. The moment they know the algorithm they used to encrypt it, they can decrypt it. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So, in some cases, when they know the algorithm, that most especially considering the fact that we are now, we are entering into the era of quantum computing. The reason why the reason why sometimes decryption is hard is because all of these things runs on some mathematical, you know maybe if you have time we can go through some of this, but you don't need it. But there's a mathematical background to everything. And the reason why some of these encryption are still safe right now is because we've not fully entered into the era of quantum computing. Quantum computers are computers that can solve like crazy, crazy mathematics algorithm or mathematical whatever in just like few seconds or minutes, and they are going to break whatever that is there. Do you get? So it is best we hash because hashing is one way. All right. So, but for encryption, you can always decrypt it. The moment I know that, okay, fine, this is the, how do I put it? This is the, how do I put it now? Like the moment I get to know that, okay, fine, this is the reason, this is the algorithm that you are using. And if the algorithm is weak, there's a possibility that I can, decrypt it. But you know that, there was a time when we're having, that was why I said we shouldn't go into this thing properly. When we're having symmetric
mm,
encryption, now we are in asymmetric encryption. And, there's a way some of those, symmetric encryption is the private key encryption. Asymmetric encryption is the public key encryption, in the sense that we're having two keys in asymmetric. And then when you are sending, I have my when I want to send a message, I have like two keys with me. Yeah, AES. So I have like two keys with me, which is the private key and then the public key, and then I'm sending a message. It is the public key that I will give to you. Let's say you want to send me a message. It is my public key I will give to you, because my public key is generated or being extracted from my private key. So I'll give the public key. Anybody can see the public key. So you use the public key to encrypt the message and then send the message to me. Then I use my private key to decrypt it. Do you get what I'm trying to? So there are ways to that, but in password normally we use hashing. All right. So and
hashing.
we don't really use encryption because are we now going to start exchanging keys again? If you want to use asymmetric encryption now, then we'll start exchanging keys. Then I send you public key, use public key to encrypt.
Okay.
All of those process. So since password is just something that is one way, it's just for me to store
One way.
something.
Okay. I think that answers my question.
So yeah, that's it.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
All right, you're welcome. So yeah, Hope.
Um. Okay. Good evening, everyone.
Yeah,
So
good
my
evening.
question is it's on when we just started. There was an image I think you're trying to describe. It was an error message that we had to use Google search I think Google Search Console
So yeah.
to find the answer to. I didn't really understand what it was about.
Okay, so now when you get that, that means that that particular site you're trying to access is having a malware. Do you understand? So once the website has a malware, there's a way the search engine would have tried to maybe go through everything you're trying to access and then return a response for you. Okay, this site is secure, this site is not secure. You know, sometimes when you're trying to access a website that is not having SSL, there's a particular message that they are going to show you. Many of us know what SSL is all about now, Abi. So there's a particular message they are going to show you that this particular site you are trying to access is not secure, something like that. Then you are now going to
Yeah.
be the one to click on advanced. Then after clicking on advanced, then you now click on proceed. Let me see if I can show you something like that. Huh? I'm I'm trying to see if it is here. I mean, I'm not sure I can get it here. Um, I think when I'm using my Mac now, it will be easy to show you. I just want to show you a platform where you're going to get to know something like that. So now, once you are trying to access that particular system, they're going to show you that okay, fine, this particular page is not having SSL, it's not secure, something like that. Exactly. So now, just the way that works, that is the way this other one works. So, but this one is just like the search engine has been able to call through, all the resources, on the server you're trying to access, and then it's now returning a response to you that there's a malicious script there, which means that okay, fine, maybe a particular hacker is trying to get your credentials or something, and if you proceed, they can get your credentials. So that is when you're going to have that red page, which will tell you that deceptive website ahead or deceptive something ahead. Hope do you understand now?
Yes, I do.
All right, you're welcome. So
Thank you. Thank you so much.
you're welcome. So I think Abba, you raised your hand. You're raising your hand too.
Yeah, yes, good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Okay, so thank you very much for the class. It's been really, worth it. So I wanted to ask, what is the difference between ciphertext and hash value? I have like about 3 questions to ask, but then I don't know if I should relay all the questions then answer. I don't know if I can go
Okay,
ahead.
let me just quickly pick them one after the other. So, ciphertext is the value after you have encrypted. A ciphertext can be decrypted. All right. The hash value is the result of hashing. A hash value cannot be dehashed. Hashing is one way. So in hashing, you have the word you're trying to hash or the resource you're trying to, anything you're trying to hash. You have the hash algorithm, or should I say the hash function, and then you have the hash value. Hash value is the end result of hashing. All right, cipher text is the end result of encryption. All right, but hash value might not be dehashed because some can be broken. If you are using some lower hash algorithms, they can be broken, like they've broken them in the past. So but if you're using a secure one, it shouldn't be broken. All right, but when we are talking about ciphertext, now ciphertext is something that comes out of your encryption, and somebody can use the what's it called, the private key, to decrypt it. And then once the person decrypts it, the person gets the plain text that was encrypted. So that's the answer to your first question. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do so.
Okay, you can quickly ask one more question and then maybe we stop. The time has gone already.
Okay. So for people who are using single sign-on, if you are we supposed to be worried that at some point if a particular system is breached, our credentials might be stolen, because you discover that when you get to some maybe new applications, and then you're seeing that you are required to do, like people who are using Google account a lot, so you do something like a single sign-on where you don't have to go over again and start imputing your details. So does it have to deal with maybe probably the system is breached, your credentials are stolen at the point?
Okay, thank you so much. So we are trying to talk about federation. Okay. So yeah, that is the time in cybersecurity federation. So now these are single sign-on works. If it's just like you have a single account with a particular company, all right, and they are now using that account to authenticate other accounts. For some of us that might be wondering like, what is single sign-on? Like for instance, now if you want to log in, if you want to log into any Google product, the only thing you just need to do is to log into your Gmail. Once you've accessed your Gmail, you can access your Google Drive, access Google Doc, access anything, access any of the Google resources. You can see that the moment when I wanted to check the Google Search Console, just because I've logged in on the Google Gmail, I can access it. If you want to do Google Form too, any of the Google products. So that is how it works. And sometimes maybe you are trying to register on a platform. Most especially some of us that are developers, they can say that sign in with your GitHub, sign in with your, maybe sign in with Google and all of that. So now, where a compromise can come in is this: when the what okay, let me put it this way: what they are being exchanged and the point of, let's assume there are two different systems now. Say for instance, Telneting and Google ahead, two different companies. If Telneting is breached, they cannot access your data. I mean, they cannot access your, what's it called? They cannot access your password, your Google password. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Because they are not sharing the Google password with them. What they are just trying to share with them is just a kind of verification. I think sometimes in form of tokens that, okay, fine, this particular person, the details is correct, because you as a person too, you are still going to give consent to what you think they can access. All right, maybe, okay, fine, this thing access my email? Should he access my email? Should he access whatever? Like there's a, for some of those things, there are sometimes that you have to give consent and all of that. So there's a way they are exchanging, data. So it's just like they'll just send a kind of token to them and be like, okay, fine, this particular person has an account with us, and then you can use the account to do whatever you want to do. So it is not that maybe they are sharing the password. They are not sharing your password with them. Do you understand that now? They are not sharing your password. And so there's a mechanism in place to just verify and validate that, oh, this is what is happening along the line. I mean, this person is real and the details are correct, then authenticate the person. So yeah, that's it. So I think someone raised their hand before Ibrahim. Um, I saw one, oh, something, something, something. The person has dropped the hand. So I don't know. So I think we should get one more question and then we call it a day. So Ibrahim, so now question is breeding question, right? Question is bringing up another question. So Ibrahim,
Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. Victor. Good evening.
yeah, good evening.
So, I'm trying to, I kind of understand, but I just want you to elaborate on it. It's still under encryption. So, you know how WhatsApp works? It allows you to like probably log in on multiple devices. Like, okay, let me just put it this way. Like, how does encryption like allows you to, like those messages to be more to still remain secure? Like now, someone must have like probably like added their device on another phone, and I also have access to it. So whatever messages that is entering, the person is also like also receiving that same message. So I don't know if you can just like um
Okay,
explain that part.
okay. So the concern now is that when you log in into WhatsApp, uh, you know, with maybe multiple devices, all right. So then, how does encryption work in that case? I mean, is that the question? Maybe to summarize it.
Yes, basically yes.
Okay. Thank you. That's a great question, actually. So you know that, see, that's why in cybersecurity there's something we call consent. Consent can be implicit, it can be explicit. That's why if anything would happen, you will be the one to give explicit consent. Like, I am giving access to this thing. So encryption in that case still work the same way it works. All right. So, but what is happening is that you know that nobody can just say they're accessing your WhatsApp. There's a way to link it. All right. And when you are linking, sometimes they will say that maybe you use a link, sometimes you're going to scan a QR code. Some of these questions, yeah, I can answer them. So then you're going to scan a QR code. So at that point and you are giving consent that this device should have access to my data, should have access to some of these things. So that is basically what is happening at that point in time. So that doesn't have to do with encryption. But if you are sending a message from that device, yes, it will still be encrypted, and then it will be decrypted at the person's end before the person gets it. So encryption still works the same way, but you know, your data is just like, how do I put it down? If you're sending a message from one's end, let's say somebody's trying to send a message to you, it will be encrypted. Once it gets to your end, it will be decrypted. And once it is decrypted, then any device that have access to that thing will see it. So that is just how it is. Is that clear? So yeah, I think we can call it a day now. So, but before we go, I just want to ask for our first this thing, yeah, for our first post on LinkedIn, how did it perform? I want two of us to talk, maybe compare that to some of our previous posts we made. Um, like, do we think this LinkedIn thing is working for you? Like, did you get any visibility with it? Are you now seeing a kind of recognition that comes from the fact that you made that post? At least you stepped out of your shell, to make the post. Like, I just want like maybe two or three persons to volunteer. We take that and then we go. Yeah. Anyone? Okay, yeah. Abba.
Yeah, so the last post I made, it was wonderful. I was getting like up to 49 to 50 impressions, something I've not gotten for a while, although, I'm new to LinkedIn. And then with you liking our post and then, commenting, it attracts a whole lot of traffic. So I must say it's working perfectly fine. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for that. So, any other person? So I just want to know if the model is working so that we can know what to improve on as we go. So any other person, because you guys are still going to make a post about, yeah, Daniel.
For me, I would say my own had a significant influence. I think I had like close to 200 or so impressions because of the repost that you did with. I think it's because of that and because of more connections with people around. So the more people who respond to your post, is going to notify others that are probably in connection with your following that this person um commented on this post. So that way it's helping us to gain visibility easily. So thank you very much, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. So I think I'm seeing 750 impression in 2 days. That's amazing. As is. So we are going to continue to do that, and we are going to keep preaching this gospel, till we finish. All right, and I want to believe that by the time we finish, we should be able to walk up to anybody and say, "Oh, come on, there is no concept in cybersecurity." I mean, in context, right? That I don't understand now. So I want you to, um, between now and Thursday, ensure that you post on a daily basis. All right, you can probably divide what you've learned in today's class and you know, um, divide it into, how do I put it, into those days, and then make posts about them. I am going, see, since you guys are doing this mentorship, I don't even have time to myself again because I am 100% committed to this. And I would rather not do anything than not be committed to it. That's one principle about me, and people know me for that. So if I know that I won't be committed to anything, I would rather not take it. I mean, even if you're paying me $10 billion, I would rather not take it. Once I know that I won't be committed because my integrity is on the line and I don't want anything that will tamper with that. So, I have promised us that we are going to that we are going to you know that we are going to grow our pages while we are still within this mentorship, how do I put it, mentorship program, and then we are going to do that. So please, if you know that you've not connected with anybody here, try to ensure that you connect with them. Maybe what we are going to do is we're going to see how we can drop the link to maybe each other's on your LinkedIn document. Try as much as you can to, how do I put it, to add this thing there. Maybe on top, add your LinkedIn link there so that once we're going to collate everything and then we're going to share with the team and with everybody here so that you can always engage everybody. And please, maybe when you wake up in the morning, try to search for another best way to do that is search for Victor Akinwande. Once you've searched for Victor Akinwande, then you start seeing people because that was why I said you guys will tag me in your post and then use that Victor hashtag. So once you've used that, if you search for even that hashtag, you're going to see people who have made posts under that, and then you should connect with all of them so that all of us can be on the same page. So and I noticed that people who dropped their post earlier had they have more reach. If you notice, people who drop their post on the group earlier, they have more reach than people who later drop, maybe around night or something. So you should take note of that because the enthusiasm is always there when you are among the first set of people that drop. So people will want to engage and be like, this. So you get more connection, you get more stuff and all of that. So please, you're going to make a post today, you're going to make a post tomorrow, you're going to make a post on Thursday too. So ensure that that is very, very consistent. Let us keep it up. We still need to replay this lecture for some of us that came late. Okay, so there's no problem. It is being recorded, so you're going to just do one or two touch on it, and then you're going to upload it on our YouTube channel. So you can go to the YouTube. We'll send the link to the YouTube channel to us, so that we can what's it called? We can get it from there. So hope you are raising your hand. Time has gone. Yeah, let's quickly have that.
Sorry, sir, did you say we are supposed to make a post today, tomorrow, and then on
No,
Thursday?
sorry. Tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday. Okay,
Oh, we're
tomorrow is
posting tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday.
yeah, tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. So it could be a time in cybersecurity that you've learned today. It could be maybe when some people were asking questions, there were some things that we shouldn't even have touched, like federation, like the single sign-on thing. When you're dealing with separation federation, you can read more on SAML. Several stuff under that. For some of us for those who have studied for CompTIA and all of that, you might be familiar with that time already. So things you've learned today, just share. You can just divide them and just start posting them. Oh, and relate them to. My question is about virus total. Okay, maybe we can have that later. So how do I put it now? Divide them and try to post. Also speak about yourself. So the best way to grow LinkedIn is not just to put some random stuff that people won't understand. If you're going to be making a post, simplify it. That okay, fine. Let me tell you how you can get hacked, or something. Put it in the kind of baby times because see, people who are reading it might not be cybersecurity professionals, all right, and they want it to appeal to them. Do you understand what I'm trying? So like it has to appeal to them. And another thing I want you guys to do is I want to give you a clue. All of you have ChatGPT. And I know that I saw some posts that I know that it was very obvious that you guys wrote it with ChatGPT. Very, very obvious. See, when you are making a post, even me myself, I use ChatGPT, but I don't use ChatGPT to write all of my posts. I use ChatGPT to refine and to simplify it. I might have a concept in my head, but just because that time I'm having a long day, I'll just put that concept down, then type it into the ChatGPT, then I'll tell you, okay, fine, refine this for me, make it emotionally appealing, ensure that it connects with my audience, they are within this age range, and ensure that if you want to approach CEOs, business, something, maybe I'll help you guys craft out a prompt that you guys can use. That the moment you put your idea into it, maybe I'll help you craft that before the end of the week, so you guys can be using that prompt to generate stuff. So and sometimes when you are my time has gone. Sometimes when you are trying to generate something, right? Um, wow, Kautar, I mean, I'm so sorry about that. You can drop off. So you can drop now. Don't worry. We are wrapping up now, and the video will be available. So sometimes when you are, I forgot what I wanted to say. Don't worry, guys. So going forward, we are going to see how we can do. I will craft out a prompt for us, and then I would maybe give that to us so that we can use that to refine our post, so that it won't just be you won't just copy and paste. Even after copying and paste, yeah, it is ChatGPT prompt. After copying and paste, there's something you yourself you still need to do. If you read my own post at I mean when you first glance at it, would you think, this guy wrote this thing in ChatGPT? Because after using GPT, before using GPT, there's a work I do. After using GPT, there's another work I do. Another thing that you guys don't notice is this dash dash thing. There's a dash that ChatGPT will always put in your stuff. Sometimes when I'm crafting my prompt, I'll say that do not put this thing. Okay, it's called asterisk. Thank you. Do not put this thing. If you put it there, it won't put it there for you. And you're going to have a neat content and then you can post. In fact, sometimes you can say that, oh, without bullets. All right. So God will help us. Let's just say a word of prayer as we go. The Lord, ChatGPT Master. Okay, Father, we want to say thank you for this class. We appreciate you for the grace. We thank you for the knowledge we've gotten, and we pray that all that you've learned, you help us to put them into practice. You help us to grow in them and with them in the name of Jesus. That we are not just going to keep learning, but opportunities are going to come our ways just because we are learning and we are growing in what we're learning in the name of Jesus. In Jesus' mighty name we have prayed. Amen. So, you guys, as you're going, try to check for all hashing algorithms, encryption, read about them. For hashing algorithm, what I practice them. Try to search for MD5, practice on MD5. Try to search for SHA-256 and others, practice on them. So, create posts about them. Starting from tomorrow, I want to start seeing my phone buzzing. So please make use of the yeah, I will drop the recording. Please make use of the, how do I put it now? Make use of the link channel, the link group that was created, and God bless us. All right, see you guys again on Thursday, and see you guys again on the group. All right, bye for now.